Hashem Spasai Tiftach Ufia Gitila Sacha. We're now in the 6th parak of Tehilim. This parak is a parak when David HaMelech is really sick. The Mefarshim talk about that he was sick for a while, and while he was sick, he was doing tshuva, and this is in his sickness, in his pain, in his physical discomfort, in a time where he's going through a very tough time. It doesn't say exactly what the sickness is, because perhaps that's the idea of the Lam Natseach, that it's for universal. It's this universal message for us when we're feeling in pain and physically sick, or just really at a low point. This is there to give us that chizuk and kind of give us that guidance of what to do. So Lam Natseach b'niginos al hasheminis mizmor LaDavid. So there are a few images in this parak to the bris milah, which obviously also represents the place of intimacy, and perhaps it also represents what he's doing tshuva from, which is the sin with Bathsheba. The story of Bathsheba is not a story of adultery. The Gemara talks about that anyone that says that David did adultery is wrong, but rather it's one where he led to a chilul Hashem, and he led to not righteous behavior with regard to how he treated Uriah, Bathsheba's the person that Bathsheba was married to before. So here Hasheminis is either an instrument or Shmona from 8 days of the bris milah, and there are a few other examples of that within this parak. So again, is it a universal? Is it him specifically referring to himself? But the idea again is Mizmor LaDavid. First, he doesn't have nevuah. He has to make himself sing and be happy and be a conduit for Hashem's Ruach HaKodesh, and then the Ruach HaKodesh comes to him. Hashem, al ba'apecha tochacheni, v'al b'chamascha tiasreni. We have this. This is a parak from Tachanun. And Rabbi Rosner mentions that the power of Tachanun is really, really, really powerful. The Gemara talks about that there was a Tana who was put into Chayrim from Rabban Gamliel, and the Tana's wife made sure that he never said Tachanun, because if he were to say Tachanun, something would happen to Rabban Gamliel. And one time she missed it, and he said Tachanun, and bam, Rabban Gamliel was killed. But essentially, it's the power of protection. Shomer Yisrael, you're the protector at HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So this is a very, very powerful kapitel of Tehilim. During a time when you're vulnerable and you're in pain, reach out to Hashem and have bitachon. And so these words are actually in the Tachanun. Hashem, in your anger, please don't give me musar during your anger, and don't give me punishment during your fury. What does that mean? There's a difference between anger and fury. Anger is external. You only see it on the outside. And sometimes people can act angry, but 2 seconds they cool off, so they're not really angry. But chema is internal. Chema is when you're really angry. And David is saying, don't go into that, Hashem, but also don't go into that in the human emotion. Let things go. Don't be that internal, holding on to a grudge that festers, that grows. And so he says, please, Hashem, if you're going to punish me, or you're going to take care of me, or you're going to give me musar, just do it not out of anger, because that's too hard for me to handle. It's too much pain. And then he says, Chaneni Hashem, be gracious to me, ki omlal ani, because I am not good. Rafa'ini, and heal me, ki nivalu atzamai, because my bones shake with agony. And so I'm in pain. I'm going through a tough time. And there's a lashon of chanun. Remember, we said the chanun is, I don't deserve it, but just do for me because you're kind. Don't do for me because I deserve it, because I don't. Nafshi nivala ma'od. I'm in so much pain. Vata Hashem amatzai. Please, how long? I can't handle this pain. Here is David doesn't sugarcoat his feelings. He's really struggling. We all have those moments where it just feels overwhelmingly painful. We were surprised by something. We were hurt by something. We were just vulnerable. And he says, I'm even shaking from it. It's so hard for me. And then Shuva Hashem, Chaltza Nafshi, rescue my soul, Hosheini L'man Chasdecha, again, out of your love and kindness for me. And he says why? Ki ein ba maves zechracha. This is a very important life lesson. Jews, we believe in Chaim. Eitz Chaim hi l'machazikim ba. We don't promote, God forbid, everything. We even have the pikuach nefesh is docha Shabbos. We even say that, Shabbos can be violated for the sake of saving a life. We believe in life. The Goyim and a lot of Avodah Zarah, they believe in sacrifice and death. We're not like that. We're all about life. And so he says, save me, let me live so that I can do your will. I can thank, Melachim, they can't do the same Hoda'ah. Remember, we've said many a times, Melachim, they're perfect, they're Omdim, but we're Mahalchim. We can walk, we can do. The Vilna Gaon was, the Chavetz Chaim was quoted to have said in his last moments, he took strings of the tzitzis and he said, what I wouldn't do to be able to, I would sell all my stuff and give all my money just for these strings, because I know that I'm going to the next world and I won't be able to do any more mitzvos. And so here he's saying, I want to do your mitzvos. I want to have the opportunity, so that I can't do that if I'm dead. So please save me, heal me so that I can live. And that's an emotional healing as well. There's nothing, remember, we have Mizmor David. We have that you have to be emotionally available, not depressed, to be able to do, to live a life of Torah, to be a conduit for any mitzvos. And so here he's saying, I'm going down, I'm feeling really low. Please raise me up. And that just shows again the value of life. And I'm tired. But here in Pasuk Zayin, we have something also. Yagati ben chasi, I'm weary and I'm sighing. Escheh b'chol layla mititi, all night I'm crying. We have those moments where we cry, where we cry ourselves to sleep. And here he's saying, b'dimasi arsi amsa, I drench my couch with tears. I am crying. Why is that important? Because once the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, the koach of tefillah sometimes does close. Sometimes Hashem doesn't answer, but the gate of tears never closes. We have that at the end at Ne'ilah, where my Rav always reminds us, cry, get it out. When you have that visceral cry, Hashem, even without words, he says, just the kol, right, the voice of the bechi. That's, it's not even the actual words are not important. Hashem says, I don't not listen to those cries. Kol berama nishma. That's why Rachel baka al baneha. She cries for her children. She doesn't have to say the perfect words. There are different gates, and that gate is never closed. Hashem always just says, just express yourself. And Rabbi Rosner mentions, the Gemara talks about that when you are davening, it's good to use a crying voice even, because even if you can't emote the cry, the voice itself is very powerful. The end of the parak gives many different ways of tefillah. There is the Shema Hashem Techanasi, one kind of tefillah, and bachi, right? So we have a lot of different types of crying, a lot of different types of tefillah. There are some tefillah that have words, there's some tefillah that don't have words, and there's some tefillah that are just visceral, like we've mentioned. And Hashem takes each one. And we have a beautiful Rashi that talks about when Yaakov, when he's giving the brachos at the end of his life, he says, "V'charbi v'kashti," that there's going to, that tefillah is going to be like a charev, like a sword, and a keshet, like an arrow. And these are the two different types of tefillah. There's one that's a sword. Those are the tefillahs that were instituted by the Anshe Knesset Agdola. Those are the tefillahs of the words of the siddur. Those tefillahs that you say them, they have power irrespective of your kavanah, because they themselves are like a sword. A sword even touches something, it could cut it. But the words, the other kind, the kind from our heart, the kind from our cries, that's a keshet. That's a bow. That takes kavanah. If you have the right kavanah, it is going to pierce right into the heart. But if you don't have the right kavanah, then it's not as valuable. The other element, v'charbi v'kashti, reminds us that there's all different types of people in the army of Hashem. There are those people that are learning, and there are those people that are working. There are those people that are fighting. There are those people that are full of chesed. There's a part of the army for everyone. in order to be able to get to the Ratzon of Hashem. And so here we have this understanding of a hope and a prayer that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please hear my cries, hear my prayers, hear anything that I can do. And what should you do? Shame and agony are going to go to my foes, and they're going to turn in shame, not me. At the end of the day, David has emunah. He's going through a tough time. He cries out to Hashem, or he just cries. He fills his bed with tears, and he goes through an emotional time. But what does he do at the end? He picks up and he uses all of his efforts to daven, and that's for us. That's l'nitzchios. He has to do a repair, a shuva, because he did wrong. But he says, I know I did wrong, and I want to improve myself. I know that everything in life is for a reason. That is a level of bitachon and emunah. Once you have that, then I can cry out to you, Hashem, and I can do it in all different ways. I can do it because I'm the type of person that uses my voice. I'm the type of person that uses my drama. I'm the type of person that's so sensitive that is just going to sit and there's no words. I'm just going to cry. But there's something for everyone. And in that way, he says, that's the universal principle of the Tachanun, the power of our tefillah, the power of our words, the power of our connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that we all have those moments of vulnerability. We learned so much from David's vulnerability. We learned so much from the fact that he's able to take ownership of some of the responsibility and say, I can't do it without you for the other part. And that is the power of the Tehilim. There's no other sefer that we use in the words. We don't say psukim of Nehemiah every day. I mean, maybe we do, but okay. But here, every word is so emotionally evocative because it really speaks to the soul of the human experience, and it speaks to the essence of what it means to be connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in such a beautiful way.